there. Welcome to season 2 of 20 for 20. My name is Kathleen Draper, and I am with the communications department at the Elks National Foundation. If you're new to the show, 20 for 20 is all about our Elk Scholars. To kick off a new season, I am joined by Molly McCommons, a 2021 Top 20 MVS Scholar sponsored by Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Lodge number 69. Thank you so much for joining me today, Molly.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. So first things first, I'll just have you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, introduce yourself, things like that.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Molly. I'm from Elwood City, Pennsylvania, which is a really small town outside of Pittsburgh. I'm a freshman at Grove City College. Currently, I'm undecided with my major. And if you ask anybody, they're like, the major changes almost every day. But I'm exploring all of these different majors and different opportunities. At the moment, I think I'm leaning towards history, possibly poli-sci as my major, and I'm looking in the pre-law direction. I really hope to become a child advocacy lawyer one day.
That's amazing. Yeah, what they say about choosing your major is totally true. I changed my major 3 times and didn't settle until I was like a junior. So don't stress about it. But yeah, that sounds amazing. And you kind of have an idea of what you'd like to do in the long term. But like you said, you just started. So how has it been going so far? How's college and your classes and everything like that?
It's been great so far. We just wrapped up midterms a few weeks ago, so that was a little hectic. But now we have Thanksgiving break coming up in about a week. So that is the final stretch that's getting me through the semester. Like, I just have to get through this week, and then we'll have a little bit of a break. But yeah, I've loved meeting new people. I have a fantastic roommate. Fun story about her, we actually went to preschool together. We went to 2 different schools though, and then happened to be on the same college tour together in the spring. And we didn't recognize each other, but our moms did. So it all worked out. And yeah, I have a fantastic roommate. I've met some great people. And it's really been great so far.
That is amazing. That's so great to hear. And what a small world that your roommate you went to school with and bumped into her many years later for college. That's so funny. Kind of the beginning and the end of your education in a way. So yeah, you talked a little bit about what you're studying. What draws you to pre-law and maybe being a child advocacy lawyer?
Yeah, so child advocacy is something that I'm very passionate about. Growing up, I lived with an abusive father. And because of that, I know what it's like to be silenced by the family court system and to feel like you don't have a voice. So for me, being a child advocacy lawyer is really a personal cause. There's a lot of need for that, especially in our court systems. And if I can just be even a little small part of a change that our society really, really needs, then I'd be more than happy to do that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's really inspirational that you've taken something that you went through personally and are hoping to change other children's futures for it. So I really appreciate you sharing more about that. And that sounds like you have a great career path ahead of you, and like you'll be really passionate and really care, and that's something that's really important in that field. So that's really exciting. And so you received your scholarship, you're already into your freshman year. You know, it's been several months since we've seen each other from the leadership weekend, but what is being an Elk Scholar going to help you achieve?
Oh my goodness. Well, being an Elk Scholar really was life-changing. So I remember first getting the news. I was actually sitting in my statistics class, and I happened to look at my phone. I saw an email from the Elks, and it had congratulations at the top. I'm like, wait, what? What am I looking at right now? And then I open up the email as my teacher is lecturing, and I raise my hand like, I need to go to the bathroom. And I read the email, and I call my mom, and it was a surreal experience because coming from my situation, college was always, it was a possibility, but it didn't quite feel like it was going to be a reality necessarily, especially with the financial aspect. So the scholarship, when I heard that great news, I had tears in my eyes just with how thankful and how blessed I felt. have that. I could finally see my future start to unfold, and college became a reality.
Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, it is really exciting to get that news, of course, no matter what. But that's something that definitely resonates with me. And what I've heard from other scholars is having that moment where you find out about the scholarship and then know, like, oh my gosh, it's all going to happen. And that is such a relief, but also just really, really exciting. So that's awesome. And what makes you an Elk Scholar?
Oh man. Well, I feel like being an Elk Scholar, everybody that I've met so far in our cohort is very service driven. And I feel very blessed to be surrounded by so many incredible people because even though we all give back in slightly different ways. And I think it's awesome because it leads to a really cool environment where like we can brainstorm and work with each other and try to think of different unique ways to give back. So I think honestly being an Elk Scholar is just about what can you bring to the table and what is even if it's just something small, what can you do to brighten someone else's day, even just a little bit?
Yeah, that thread of service really ties all of our Elk Scholars and our greater Elks family together. It's something that's really valued throughout our organization and also within the community of scholars. Um, and you made a very good point that all scholars, they have so many different interests and different passions and how they use that to serve their communities. What does service mean to you?
Yeah, well, a service to me is finding a way to give back, even if it's in the smallest of ways. Um, Whether that's, buying someone coffee who's behind you in line, trying to brighten their day, or maybe sending a thank you card to one of your friends from back home that you don't get to see in college anymore. Just little things that you can try to bring a smile to someone else's face.
Little things can have such a big impact on people's days and their lives, you know. Um, and obviously, you're really passionate about service, and that's something you mentioned with the whole Elk Scholar community. But what is something you're passionate about outside of academics and service and things like that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question. Um, oh, I have to
Could be
think
a
about this.
hobby. Yeah, it could be anything.
Um, oh, well, one of the things that I love to do, so I have two younger sisters, and one of them especially, she loves to bake. And baking is something that I didn't really start to get into until recently, right before I left to college. And it was something that would bring my sisters and I all together. And yeah, we love doing it. Now it looks a little different now that I'm on campus, because we have one kitchen that's shared
Mhm.
between our entire floor. So baking now is more of like the no bake cookies or the prepackaged Pillsbury. Um, but I love how baking can just brings you together, brings you closer as a community, and it makes me think of my sisters too.
Yeah, cooking, I've gotten really into cooking recently, and that has been something that I feel like resonates with me because my mom is a really good cook, and so are all my aunts, and my roommate and I like to cook together. So it is something that really brings you together, and that's really nice that you have that with your family too. So when you go home for holidays like Thanksgiving,
Yes,
you get to bake
exactly.
away, which is exciting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Um,
hopefully I come back to some cookies too. That's what
yeah,
I'm hoping. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
If you could say anything to the Elks, what would you say?
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. I don't think I can ever really express just how thankful I am for this scholarship and for this community. Um, Scholarship aside, you guys have given me a family. The college, adjusting to college was uh, a new experience and it was stressful living away from home for the first time. But I knew that despite all the stress that I felt from that everything was going to be okay because I had my Elks family backing me up and cheering me on throughout the entire process.
Yeah, if there's anything I've learned in my 2 years at the foundation, it's that the Elks family is always there for you, even when it's from the distance. I mean, I think we really saw that with your scholar class, just being brought together, even virtually, was really exciting and powerful to see. And that thread of Elks family is something that's really important in our work and for you and for other scholars. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Molly. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have more episodes of 20 for 20 coming soon. And our newest host is someone that you might recognize from the first season, Daniel Ardity, a 2020 Top 20 MVS scholar who we interviewed last year, will be hosting several episodes of the show, and I personally am really looking forward to seeing those. Thank you again, and see you next time. Bye.